There's a fire alarm inside your mind. Thoughts fly like sparks, and your body becomes an engine without brakes. You do not sleep for 3 nights, and you convince your friends that you have discovered the formula for immortality. Money vanishes as quickly as new brilliant ideas appear. Then everything flips. The bed becomes a concrete sarcophagus. A toothbrush weighs a ton. The air thickens like tar. A phone call startles you like lightning, and the mirror shows a face you do not recognize. Every promise you once made looks like a crime. Every thought tastes like poison. In the mixed world, both forces collide. Your heart pounds like a hammer while inside there's a deep cold and a wish to disappear. You scream inside, but only a hoarse whisper comes out. Fear seeps through the cracks of consciousness. The fear that tomorrow you will destroy everything you manage to build today. The most terrifying thing is that you no longer trust your own memories. Did it really happen, or is your brain painting another terrible story? If you recognize yourself in even a few of these words, do not stay silent. Ask for help. Write to someone close. Call a hotline. See a psychiatrist or a therapist. The voice that asks for help is stronger than the whisper of illness. Don't wait until the darkness becomes a whirlpool that swallows everything, because now a return to light is still possible. Courage begins with one short, honest step. Call. There is a rhythm beneath thought, a hidden metronome that sometimes accelerates without warning, and sometimes slows until every step feels heavy. If you have known nights that feel like daylight and mornings that refuse to begin, if you have felt electricity and darkness living in the same body, you already know the outline of the story. Tonight we give it a name, and once you see its shape, it is hard to unsee. We are not here to romanticize or to panic you. We are here to explain a pattern. Bipolar disorder is not a mood swing or a character flaw. It is a recurring architecture that changes the speed of the mind, the weight of time, the volume of sensation, and the voice that narrates who you are. It leaves fingerprints in speech and sleep, in projects started and abandoned, in money that moves too quickly and days that do not move at all. Understanding this pattern matters because myths are loud and the truth is patient. Because too many people call themselves weak when they are really caught between currents, and because a mapped city is less frightening than a haunted house. Think of a system with 3 dominant modes: fast, slow, and both at once. In the fast mode, the world sharpens and opens. Ideas connect with clean click. Sleep shrinks and energy insists it is enough. Coincidences glow with meaning. Certainty arrives and refuses to leave. In the slow mode, the world recedes behind glass. Time stretches thin. Pleasure loses color. Choices feel expensive. Words grow short and then go silent. Hope becomes arithmetic and the math never balances. In the mixed mode, the engine roars while the lights are off. Energy tangles with despair. The body is restless while the mind speaks in shadows. This is not performance or drama. It is the internal weather of a nervous system that runs hot, runs cold, and sometimes runs both at once. During elevation, you may feel clarity, speed, and a sense of special alignment with the world. You talk faster because the path seems obvious and you do not want to lose it. Boundaries feel negotiable, rules feel like suggestions, and plans multiply. Night looks like day and the hours seem generous. Interpretations travel further than usual. Patterns appear in places that used to be ordinary. Confidence hardens and questions feel like friction. During depression, the opposite texture arrives. The room is not darker, but it feels farther away. Time lengthens. A message remains unsent because a sentence is too sharp to hold. Sleep becomes either too much or broken into fragments. Memory selects mistakes with cruel precision and forgets competence as if it belonged to someone else. In the mixed state, tension hums through the muscles while the mind refuses light. Thoughts race toward bleak conclusions. Anger sits near the surface. Tears arrive without permission. Nights are long, and mornings do not restore. Even when nothing is spoken, the pattern leaves tracks. Elevated periods are crowded with messages and plans. Draft without endings, short sleep that does not feel short. Spending that curves away from intention, and boundaries that thin under pressure. Depressive periods are marked by long pauses, cancellations, unfinished tasks. Sleep that is either excessive or fractured, and a quiet that has more weight than choice. Mixed periods show tension in the jaw and in the voice, pressured conversation with dark content, and nights that give no relief. These signatures differ from person to person. but they repeat enough to be recognized as part of the same climate. Example 1. Disappearance from life. Think of the artist who, after a period of intense social connection and prolific creation, simply vanished. For weeks, her studio had been a hub of activity, filled with laughter, late-night discussions, and canvases bursting with vibrant, almost aggressive color. She had been the center of every gathering, her wit sharp, her presence electric. Then, the phone call stopped. Messages went unread. The studio door remained locked, the blinds drawn. Friends, initially concerned then frustrated, eventually assumed she had simply moved on, or perhaps grown tired of them. They did not see the other side of the rhythm. The slow, heavy descent where the world receded behind a thick pane of glass. They did not know that each morning was a negotiation with gravity, that the simple act of rising from bed felt like climbing a mountain. They did not know that her vibrant colors had turned to ash in her mind, that her sharp wit had dulled to a painful silence. She was not rejecting them. She was simply absent, trapped in a landscape where connection felt impossible, and even the thought of a single word was a burden too heavy to bear. Her disappearance was not a choice, but a consequence of the climate that had shifted, leaving her isolated in a room where time stretched and hope thinned to a whisper. Example 2. Uneasy calm. Imagine a student, brilliant and driven, who experienced a peculiar kind of internal friction. There were times when her mind raced with insights, connecting disparate ideas in a way that felt almost supernatural. She would write essays in a single sitting, her fingers flying across the keyboard, the words pouring out in a torrent of eloquent thought. Yet, during these same periods of intense mental acceleration, a profound unease would settle in her chest. Sleep offered no rest. Her body would lie still, but her mind would churn, replaying anxieties, dissecting past mistakes, anticipating future failures. She would pace her small apartment for hours, a restless energy vibrating beneath her skin, while her thoughts spiraled into dark, unyielding conclusions. Her friends saw the brilliance, the rapid-fire ideas, the intense focus, and mistook it for pure inspiration. They did not see the internal battle, the mind racing toward despair, the body charged with an unbearable tension, the constant argument between the urge to move and the desire for stillness. It was a state of agitated darkness, a paradox where the engine was roaring, but the destination was always a wall. This was not a simple bad mood. It was a mixed state, a relentless current of energy pushing against a heavy tide of bleakness, leaving her exhausted by the very force that drove her. Bipolar disorder does more than change emotion. It changes what the mind marks as important how time passes, and which internal voice is allowed to speak. In her eyes, the brain paints too many things in bright colors. A glance becomes a message. A shadow becomes a sign. Noise turns into signal. In the fall, the colors drain. Nothing stands out. Everything feels equally dull or equally heavy. In the mixed state, the tags conflict and collide. Alarms sound while meaning collapses. Pressure grows with no clear direction. Time compresses in the fast mode and stretches in the slow one, and in the mixed state it tears into shards. The narrator of the self changes too. During elevation it speaks in superlatives, best, destined, absolutely. During depression it speaks in absolutes of another kind, never, worthless, no way out. During mixed episodes it argues with itself, and both sides sound true while they speak. There are different maps inside this landscape. Some lives include full manic peaks that briefly break contact with shared reality. Others ride hypomanic rises that shimmer but do not cross that line. Many include long depressions that come and go like seasons. Some move quickly across months, while others turn slowly over years. The overlaps with anxiety, ADHD, trauma histories, and substance use can blur the picture. Yet beneath these layers, bipolar disorder shows episodic changes in sleep need, energy, speed of thought, and risk that create distinct chapters with beginnings and endings. The myths that mislead the culture tells this story badly. One script says mania is just creativity, and forgets the invoices and the aftermath. Another says bipolar is moodiness, and ignores the geometry and the recurrence. A third paints it as danger to others, when the most common danger points inward during deep depression or mixed agitation. Public narratives prefer spectacle. Private lives carry the cost. The truth is less glamorous and more complete. It is a long line of seasons, a map with peaks and valleys and long plains, visible in calendars and bank statements and photographs, audible in the changing tone of voice across years. In the fast state, beginnings are easy and ideas are generous. In the slow one, deadlines become cliffs and completion evaporates. Reputations swing between praise and suspicion in the same year. Audiences applaud the bright week and rarely see the long winter. Over time, the stories that last are not built on flashes, but on the long middle, on predictable cadence rather than blaze, on steady flame rather than fireworks. Bank statements do not flatter or accuse. They record. They show the night when a feeling became a purchase and the month when output vanished. They also show how a graph can smooth over years when storms become less violent and decisions vary less. Money becomes an honest mirror when memory leans too far toward pride or shame. Example 3. A project that burned down. Consider the architect who found a new kind of light in the spring. Ideas for a grand project, a building that would redefine the city skyline, began to flow not in sketches but in complete visions. Sleep became a minor inconvenience. A few hours a night felt like a full reset. Every conversation sparked new connections. Every obstacle seemed to dissolve into an opportunity. He spoke with a speed and certainty that captivated investors, drawing them into his vision with an almost magnetic force. He hired a team, bought expensive software, and worked through nights, fueled by an unshakable belief in his own genius. The initial designs were breathtaking, a testament to a mind operating at an impossible velocity. But as the weeks turned into months, the light began to change. The initial clarity fractured into 1,000 competing details. The grand vision became too vast to hold. He started 5 new sub-projects, each more ambitious than the last, none reaching completion. The team grew confused and frustrated. The investors, once mesmerized, began to ask questions he could no longer answer with the same conviction. The energy that had built the dream now scattered it, leaving behind a trail of unfinished blueprints, mounting debts, and profound, silent exhaustion. The project, once a beacon of his brilliance, became a monument to a rhythm he could not control. There are seasons of intense presence, long messages, many plans, 3 gatherings a weekend, and seasons of absence, where threads go unanswered and evenings collapse at the door. This confuses people who do not know the climate. The friendships that endure learn to separate capacity from affection. They recognize that absence can be a state, not a verdict. They choose patience over spectacle and stay through both weather systems. Many families recognize the pattern only in retrospect. A grandfather who never slept in spring and crashed in winter, an aunt who spoke in torrents in June and would not answer phone in November. We inherit more than stories. We inherit the language used to hide the architecture. Restless, intense, difficult. Precise language offers dignity and connection. It links lives across generations without blame. For some people, the mind accelerates when the world turns green and slows when the light fades. Others follow clocks with no seasonal tie, or clocks tangle with travel, achievement, grief, or stress. The maps differ, but the terrain repeats. Peaks and valleys, ridges and plateaus, sudden fronts that pass quickly and leave everything changed. Across decades, trajectories diverge. For some, peaks soften and lows shorten. For others, thresholds lower after many storms. Thinking can return fully between episodes or carry dents after severe seasons. There is no single fate, only patterns that can be seen and named, and a person who exists beneath the weather. Someone who laughs in a quiet kitchen, who finishes small tasks, who is not a headline or a diagnosis. I want to hear from you. Which part of this picture felt like a mirror? The fast clarity, the slow heaviness, the mixed tension, the changing narrator, or the footprints left in calendars and bank statements? Share one line that matched your experience or your curiosity. Your sentence might become the lantern someone else needed tonight. Bipolar disorder is an episodic condition of mood and energy regulation. It includes periods of acceleration called mania or hypomania, periods of deceleration called depression, and periods where both operate together. These states alter sleep, speech, attention, impulse, and risk. They are visible in behavior and in records. They are real. They do not define your worth. They are weather inside a skull, and lives are built in every kind of climate. If this map helped you give shape to something you could feel but could not name, subscribe to the channel and join the newsletter below. We will continue reading the book of the mind without glamour and without shame.